I'm Miss Geen, one of the literary arts teachers, and I would like to thank all of you for joining us tonight to celebrate the work of this exceptional group of seniors. I've been telling them for a really long time how astonishing and wonderful they are, and it's been a couple of years for that, and I'm kind of over it. So let's just move on. What you will hear tonight is the culmination of 4 years of very hard work. I'd like to also acknowledge that many of these seniors faced difficult life events and personal challenges, and they still kept writing. Part of that is because every single one of them is stubborn, as I'm sure you're aware. I am deeply grateful for the time I've spent in the classroom with these writers. I don't want to say it was an honor or a privilege, that I'm humbled, yada yada. But I actually was, and I mean that. Your writing, your humor, your kindness, mostly, and your brilliance is much needed in this world. Before we enjoy their work, I would like to give a shout out to the other lit arts teachers, Ms. Giwant. They're amazing. I mean, they're talented, they're devoted, and they have a lot of patience. And I would like to say that you kids are so lucky to have had us. All right, I'm going to introduce our first reader, Alexandria Rhodes. Her fiction contains apocalyptic worlds sketched into prose that is clear and lyrical, and though the earth is desolate, her characters have enough heart to fuel a cosmos. Like Alex herself, she is a shining star. When Fiction 3 took a field trip to the Cabalist First Novelist Award, I fell and broke my foot for no reason at all, except I still say that Max may have caused that. Alex and Alexis helped me to the car. One was on either side of me. I hopped furiously. I was a mess, and I will never forget the calm, loving way Alex said, "Go ahead, Miss Geen, lean on me, I'm strong." And this year we all saw how true that is. Here we are with Alexandria Rhodes.
Emotional and sensitive I am, so I don't know how she could do that for me right before I have to read. Today I'm going to be reading 3 poems and 1 flash fiction piece for you all. This first piece is dedicated to my mom, who just walked in. It's called Her Mother Gave Me Infinity. You bottled up the whole world and held me as I drank the universe in little gulps. When I cried over spilled milk, you kissed my forehead and poured me a new glass, half full, because where I saw mess, you saw infinite masterpiece. You taught me to locate constellations and headlights when fog hides the sky, that blessings are as abundant, innumerable, and mine as the stars, and that love is the center of the universe, ethereal and ever expanding. And this next poem I'm going to be reading is called All Our Girls. It's about loving yourself. This is All Our Girls. How can a little girl believe black is beautiful when black is different, and different doesn't fare well in a 4th grade classroom where she is always the only, where curly hair is only pretty when it's blonde, long, and tied back behind a bright bow? How can a little girl dream of daffodils when her curls are deemed dangerous, her voice too loud. When people with porcelain skin are heroes in history textbooks, while people with skin like obsidian, like the night sky or rare gems, people with skin like hers, like mine, were called everything but their names, with just as much stolen. Perhaps reclamation comes when we embrace colors once denied. Perhaps reconciliation comes when we recognize all our curls are beautiful. And as Ms. Keen mentioned, I do love writing about outer space and big otherworldly concepts. So this next poem is called Infinite Nothing. How many numbers come between 0 and 1? Most will say none, there are no numbers, while AP Calculus cries infinity. Let salty tears stain every digit after the decimal. In the same way, you told me your love was infinite, while I drowned in the nothingness of I promise, and I'll fix it. You love me in a quantity too small, too massive to see, so close to nothing, it's everything. Thank you. And last, I'll be reading a flash fiction piece. It's called The Pilot in the Shuttle. 10. The low rumble of the engine rings throughout the entire unit. Below you, behind you, within you. It rattles your suit, your seat belt, the cushioned walls, but it's bearable for now. It allows you to convince yourself the churning in your stomach is a result of motion sickness and not nerves. There are no windows in the descent module, so you have to trust the voice over the intercom telling you that everything is going smoothly. Except, it's not telling you anything, just counting down. 9. There are 3 other astronauts with you. You don't know them too well. Most of your training over the past 2 years was done individually. You officially met them 2 months ago. Their names are Kara and Raphael and AJ. You don't know their stories. They don't know yours. The people in charge want it that way. You'll likely come to know them well over the next 25 years, so you suppose it makes sense to forego the lengthy introductions. The 4 of you are sitting in a square, shoulder to shoulder. You're between Kara and Raphael, alternating who you bump into with every rattle of the ship. You're trying to avoid making direct contact with AJ, but there aren't many other places to look, and he's staring at you. 8. You don't have family. You're sure that's a big reason why they chose you. Can't send someone up there who'll be missed. Your dad died a long time ago, and as far as you're concerned, your mom did too. 7. You don't have friends either. You did back in high school and again in the Air Force, but they're long gone now. Even if this mission was not classified, you'd have no one to tell. Perhaps these astronauts will become your friends, your family. 6. The rattle has turned into a heavy rocking. You grip your safety harness to steady yourself. It doesn't help. The countless simulations did not prepare you for the real thing, and closing your eyes does nothing to combat the churning in your stomach, but you do it anyway. 5. When you were first informed that you'd been chosen, you were skeptical, to say the least. The letter came in the mail, marked as classified with no return address, just a number to call. You almost threw it out with the rest of your junk mail. How differently would things have unfolded if you had? It wasn't the nature of the request that seemed impossible. You'd figured there were people floating up in space without anyone knowing. You just never thought you'd be the type of person to get asked. You could fly airplanes in your sleep, but space shuttles were another story. There was no possible way that you could have been considered for a space mission with your lack of experience, even given the circumstances of our planet. No legal way. And yet, 2 years later, here you are. 4. When you met the president, he gave you and the other some medals and went on about the sacrifice you're making and how you're heroes, but all you could think about were the problems you'd be leaving behind. Would you even be going out here if people like him, people with power, had made an effort to fix things before they got this bad? No. You would be doing this even if the planet wasn't burning or sinking or caving in on itself. Human nature is to expand. Earth isn't enough. We've always needed more. That's what this is really about. 3. When you were a kid, you'd look at the sky through this toy telescope your dad bought. It made no difference than looking with your eyes, but you felt like you could reach out and touch the stars. Your dad would point out Jupiter and Venus and the Big Dipper, and you'd memorize them all. What would he say if he knew you were about to see the stars up close? 2. Deep down, you know you shouldn't be here. There are too many loose ends, too many secrets. You're about to be shot into space, and the only people who know about it are NASA big shots and a handful of rich white people. Someone could have got the numbers wrong. This miracle planet could be outside of the habitable zone. It could be a big ball of gas and debris that knocks you off course and right into its star. There could be no planet at all. Heck, you probably won't even make it out of the galaxy. It's never been done. At least, that's what you've been told. But that too could be a lie. It wouldn't surprise you. Nothing surprises you anymore. Regardless, it's a little late for doubts now. You've had them plenty of times up until this point, and yet, for some reason, you still decided to leave behind everything you've ever known. Even if the people sending you up there have no ulterior motive, nothing will be the same when you come back. If you come back. 1. You open your eyes, forcing everything out of your head that's not directly in front of you. Kara, maybe instinctively, maybe because she knows you're afraid, maybe because she is too, squeezes your hand. You barely feel it through your chrome gloves, but your mind convinces you there's warmth in the touch. Your ears flood with whatever explosions are happening beneath the shuttle. You inhale. It may be the last breath you ever take on this planet. Liftoff of the Breakthrough 2. This is the first manned expedition out of the Milky Way, headed to TOI 700D, the planet believed to possess the Earth-like qualities that can sustain human life. Earth has nothing left to give you. Thank you.